Okay, my dear Dharma friend, let's continue the study of the Sutra of the Perfect Enlightenment. So yesterday we finished on page 125, so we can continue on 128 actually. So 127, sorry. The Gatha. So the Gatha is simply the Buddha wants to summarize his teaching or his answer to the question of Bodhisattva universal version. So page 127, the Gatha. I'll read the Chinese first. So 尔时世尊欲重宣此义而说偈言，普眼汝当知，一切诸众生，身心皆如幻，身相属四大，心性归六尘，四大体各离。谁为和合者？如是见修行，一切须清净，不动遍法界，无作止任灭，亦无能证者。一切佛世界，犹如虚空华，三世须平等，毕竟无来去。触发心菩提，即莫是众生。欲求入佛道，应如是修行。So then the world-honored one, wanting to restate the gist of this, spoke of a verse. He said, Universal vision, you should know. The bodies and the minds of all sentient beings are only illusion. The body is composed of 4 elements. The mind depends upon the 6 objects. When the 4 elements disperse, who will be there as synthesis? In this kind of gradual practice, all is completely pure, unchanging, pervading the reality realm, without contrivance, stopping, naturalism, or annihilation, and also without any subjective realizer. All Buddha worlds are just like sky flowers. The 3 times are all the same, ultimately without coming or going. Bodhisattva who have recently arisen their minds, and sentient beings of the degenerate age who want to enter the Buddha way should practice like this. So beautiful. So we can read a little bit about the comments by Kiwa, the Korean master in 14th centuries. The body is composed of 4 elements. So 4 elements is earth, water, wind, and fire. The mind depends upon the 6 objects, like what we can see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and think. If you reflect in this way, in what way? That all the inputs from 6 senses are just like sky flowers. Fundamentally, all inputs are not real. They are like sky flowers, or in modern day word, the floaters of a cataract patient. If you reflect in this way, the nature is empty. You have total picture, or you perceive the phenomenal world with the sense of emptiness. Clear. All things are pure. There's no obstruction. There's no disturbance. There's no distraction. Unchanging, equal, and annihilated. This is also neither practice nor realization. You don't practice to realize this, because it is originally so, or it is originally what it is. There is also neither coming nor going. The Buddha is a being that never comes nor goes. The way of practice and the realization is culminated here. The way of practice and the realization is culminated here. Those of sharp faculties have already been awakened. Sharp faculties means you have direct experience of the first chapter and the second chapter. Those of sharp faculties have already been awakened. But since those of middling and dull faculties, most people are dull faculties or middling faculties. The sharp faculties in the history of Buddhism, in the history of Chinese Buddhism, there's only one guy that heard the verse of Diamond Sutra and got enlightened. And his name is Huineng, Master Huineng, sixth patriarch of the Chinese Chan Buddhist school or lineage. And Master Huineng got sharp faculties by heard a verse from Diamond Sutra. The verse of the Diamond Sutra he heard is or was 因以无所住而生其心. So our mind abiding on nothing, you just be. This is so simple. You just be. The light of consciousness is stable, evenly distributed on the objects of the awareness or the contents of the awareness. What you can see, hear, taste, smell, touch, and think. You're not disturbed. You're not distracted. You don't resist. You don't follow. 因以无所住而生其心. You are like this. Our mind abides on nothing. Just be. Those sharp faculties have already been awakened. And Master Huineng heard this verse of the Diamond Sutra and got enlightened. 因以无所住而生其心. Our no abiding on any contents of the awareness. Like the sunlight shines on the planet Earth or moon or any other 7 or 8 planets of the solar system evenly. But since those of middling and dull faculties have not yet awakened, like us, like most worldly people, after this Buddha will accept many more questions and give many more answers. The sentenced Bodhisattvas who have recently risen their minds and sentient beings of the degenerate age. We are the sentient beings of the degenerate age who want to enter the Buddha way should practice like this. Like what? You see the nature of the phenomenal world, which is empty, unreal, fundamentally unreal, like sky flower, like the moon in the water, 水中月, like the flower in the mirror. In Buddhism, there's so many metaphors or analogies. All the metaphors or analogies are the pointers to help us to realize the ultimate truth. So this Bodhisattva who have recently arisen their minds and the sentient beings of the degenerate age who want to enter the Buddha way should practice like this. Like what? Again, you see the nature of the phenomenal world as emptiness, as sky flowers, as floaters of a cataract patient, as the moon in the water, as the flower in the mirror. Again, right at this moment, actually any moment, any now, there's only one now actually. Our consciousness or awareness is like four-dimensional conscious mirror, reflects everything. Everything means what we can see, hear, touch, smell, taste, and think. 6 objects or 6 consciousness, subconsciousness. All the contents of the awareness from 6 senses are fundamentally empty and unreal. Fundamentally in relation to the ultimate truth. And to talk about ultimate truth, there's 2 ways to talk about it. Negation or affirmation. Nothing is real. That's the negation. Or affirmation. Everything is real. It's really hard. The words. So you choose the middle way. You don't attach to everything's real. Everything is real, sorry. And you don't attach to nothing is real. The ultimate truth is perfect balance of the phenomenal world and unmanifested world, or the field, the space, and everything in the space. Words are really weak here. Okay, we are at page 128. Let's go on 129. 129, okay, so is the Vajragarbha Bodhisattva. The name Vajragarbha is composed of 2 Sanskrit words, Vajra and Garbha. Vajra in Indian religious literature is the hardest substance in existence, the essence of diamond or metal. Jingang, diamond, like it also means thunderbolt, as wielded by the god Indra, or mythical Vajra warriors. Garbha is the Sanskrit term for storage place or container, but simultaneously contains the meaning of womb or matrix, a fertile environment where things are nourished in prenatal state. In his treatment of the term Vajra, Kiwa focused on the meaning of the 2 Sino-Korean logographs that are used to translate the term, which are Jingang actually, which means hard or very strong. Anyway, the basic meaning of Vajra is our true self actually, which is unbreakable, invincible, like diamond. Diamond is the hardest material in the world. So Vajra or diamond refers our true nature. Which cannot be damaged by anything. Water cannot wet it, fire cannot burn it, wind cannot blow it. There's an old saying, what's that? It's you, my dear friend. You are the Vajra. Your Buddha nature is invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable. So Vajragarbha, Garbha, the storage or container. Let's go on. Page 129. The reason Vajra is called strong is because it's so hard that it's impervious, so sharp that it can cut anything. Yes, that's another meaning. Vajra means it can cut anything. Cut what? Cut ignorance, actually. Vajra is so hard that the wisdom can cut ignorance. In this use a metaphor for the subtlety of wisdom. You see, it is that which demons cannot enter and that which doubt cannot confuse. Is able to destroy the net of doubt, actually the net of ignorance, to cut away the cause of restriction. Store refers to the radiant, bright Garbha. This store mind contains the subtle wisdom that is difficult to conceive and contains the virtuous functions of hardness and sharpness. So beautiful. So, you see, actually, if you look around, look all the civilizations of humanity. Every object is a design, is a creation by human mind. You see, cell phone or rockets in the sky, internet, any science in physics or chemistry. It's all the application of this Vajragarbha. Like the brain of Einstein, the brain of Aristotle, is the application of this Vajragarbha. So the virtuous function of hardness and sharpness, that's the function of this Vajragarbha. But the attributes of this Vajragarbha, contains the radiant, bright wisdom or intelligence, you can say. If now we have 7 billion population, if you sum up all the intelligence of the brains of 7 billion people, actually every brain of these 7 billion people is one aspect or application of this Vajragarbha, which is infinite big and infinite small. See that? It includes the mind of all the luminous minds, like Einstein, like Beethoven, like Aristotle, like every scientific or philosophers of the minds of there, or is the application of this Vajragarbha. Why does Vajragarbha question further after, page 129. Why does Vajragarbha Bodhisattva question further after universal version Bodhisattva? Okay, this is very important, kind of a review of this, of the chapter 1, 2, and 3. Manjushri has revealed awakening. Awakening, if I review the sentence of the Manjushri Bodhisattva, again, Manjushri Bodhisattva is the symbol of wisdom. Without wisdom, every practice loses meaning. So Manjushri asked the question, and Buddha answered in this way: 如来因地修圆觉者，知是空花，即无轮转。知是空花。So the direct awakening is that you can see all the phenomena world are sky flowers. So if we can see that everything we can see, hear, touch, taste and smell and think are sky flowers, fundamentally empty and unreal, then you are beyond samsara. There's no samsara. Samsara is our illusion, actually. 如来因地修圆觉者, all the Buddhas that practice at causal ground. Causal ground means there's cause and effect. If your causal ground is perfect, then your result will be perfect too. So, 如来因地修圆觉者, 知是空花，即无轮转，亦无身心受彼生死. There's no body mind to undergo birth and death. The body is made of 4 elements, which is empty and unreal fundamentally. Our mind is made of 6 objects, 6 sensory organs, and 6 subconsciousness, which fundamentally again is empty and unreal. So Manjushri has revealed awakening in a very simple way, a shortcut of awakening. While Samantabhadra Bodhisattva has disclosed practice. So Samantabhadra said, the question answered by Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, and the Buddha answered in this way. 知幻即离，不作方便，离幻即觉，亦无见次. So I think it's page 103 of this sutra. So if you know all the phenomena world is empty and unreal fundamentally, so you leave them. You're not disturbed, distracted by the illusions, because you know it's illusion, then you can leave it. So that's the practice of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. 知幻即离，不作方便. There's no convenient way. It's a direct cut of illusion. Samantabhadra, that's the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. 知幻即离，不作方便，离幻即觉，亦无见次。So if you can 离幻即觉, so you are awakened because you can cut through the ignorance or illusion. That's called enlightenment. You are not bounded, or you're not bound or imprisoned by the contents of awareness. The awareness is not prisoned, attached, limited by the contents of awareness. That's all. And you can cut it through, cut all the attachments, resistance, and ignorance. That's just Samantabhadra Bodhisattva's practice. There's no gradual way. There's no convenient way. There's only sudden way. So all awakening is a suddenlistic approach. Once you know, then all your practice makes sense. All your gradual practice, like meditation, faith, trust, devotion, following a master, reading a book becomes helpful or meaningful. Otherwise, all the practice is like a headless fly. A headless fly hit the four walls of a room. There's no destination. There's no aim to go. Okay, that's the summary of the chapter 1, Manjusri Bodhisattva, and chapter 2, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, and chapter 3, Universal Vision, that he said the body and the mind are sky flowers. So it's more like detailed information in chapter 3. So universal vision has shown that the correct contemplation, actually contemplate on the insubstantiality of the body and the mind. That's a convenient way, a little bit gradual way by Bodhisattva universal vision. So I repeat the keywords. Commentary here in page 129. At the end of the page 129, why does Vajragarbha question further of the universal vision Bodhisattva? Because first, in chapter 1, Manjusri has revealed awakening. In chapter 2, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva has disclosed practice. And in chapter 3, universal vision has shown the correct contemplation that results in realization. Just a brief introduction again. So in Sutra Perfect Enlightenment, there's 12 Bodhisattvas ask question one by one to Buddha, and Buddha answer the question one by one. And it's like a show of question and answer. It's like Buddha and all the 12 Bodhisattvas give us a vivid lesson that answer the questions that our followers may have for the same question. So it's kind of a show directed by Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. So it's so beautiful, actually. It's a very well directed like a show. Now we are in chapter 4, Vajragarbha Bodhisattva. So page 130. Certainly, the instructions for the awakening practice and the realization have been well clarified. You see. However, while those of superior capacity, which is in chapter 1 and 2, who are sharp in their discernment, get the whole point in a single hearing, like Master Huineng, the sixth patriarch of Chinese Chan Buddhism, get enlightenment by hearing a verse of Diamond Sutra. Master Huineng is very sharp, has a superior capacity. But most world people are middling and inferior capacities. Those of the middling and inferior capacities whose power of discernment is weak cannot avoid rising doubt. So we still have doubt or questions. Why? The chapter of Manjusri said, kind of review again, permanently sever ignorance and directly accomplish the Buddha way. The chapter of the Samantabhadra says, beginningless illusory ignorance is all created from the perfectly enlightened mind. Very paradoxical statement, thus completely revealing ignorance, faults, and afflictions, causing them to be completely severed. 知幻 即离不作方便，离幻即觉，亦无见次. Okay, that's the Samattabhadra Bodhisattva. And in the chapter 3, the universal vision says, you should know for the first time that all sentient beings are originally perfect Buddhas, that samsara and nirvana are like last night's dream. We are in a dream right now. In the comparison to or with the ultimate truth. This is done in order to show the doctrine of neither practice nor realization. There's no practice because you're originally Buddha. There's no realizer because you are it already. Since what was said before and after seem to be contradictory, doubt arises. Okay. Now contemplation is the correct path of practice. Maybe you can read by yourself. We are page 130. Very interesting. Doubt is a heavy obstacle to the practice of contemplation and impedes correct cultivation. In my path awakening, let's say, doubt is a heavy obstacle. If you have a doubt that you're not a Buddha originally, then it's very hard for you to practice later. Doubt. Or in other words, if you do believe that Buddha's teaching in chapter 1 and 2 makes sense to you, and you believe it's true, you're originally Buddha, and all the phenomena world are like sky flowers or like reflections in a mirror, then you may, how to say, fasten your steps of awakening very soon. You're on a right path because you have a right view, you have right belief, right trust, and that will help your practice more and more. Maybe you don't need practice because there's no practice, no realization. If you want to do the correct contemplation that results in realization, you cannot be hindered by doubt. Or in other words, we should trust Buddha's teaching. We should trust or have faith. We believe in Buddha's teaching, especially in chapter 1 and 2. If there is a doubt in your mind, contemplation cannot be brought to fruition. And in the end, there will be no achievement of realization. You see, doubt is the heavy obstacle to the practice of enlightenment. Therefore, Vajragarbha Bodhisattva follows Universal Vision Bodhisattva with another question, asking the Buddha to resolve doubts. So here there's a keywords verse. The transformation and non-transformation of both sentient beings and Buddha are doubted. If there were no great enlightenment, who could tell? The gold, the flowers, with one cry, you are awakened from your dream. The clouds dissipate. The sky and the moon are perfectly revealed. Okay, I think we can stop here on page 130. See you tomorrow.